and welcome to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect Podcast. We are so glad that you have joined us here today. In the studio, I've got Brian Sevitz on my left. He's never been on my left before. This is brand new.
Yep.
It's a whole new experience.
And to switch it up.
This side of your face is amazing. And Rachel Boosin is on my right, and we are so glad that you have joined us. And as always, we're going to go through the recap, or give you a sponsor of the week, recap of last Sunday, and give you some things that you need to know about heading into this week. First and foremost, though, we have to give you the sponsor of the week, and the sponsor of this week is Seed Packets. Now, if you were here on Sunday, you saw these out in the lobby area. I did get some okra for you, because I know how much you love okra.
How much I love
and
okra.
some squash, some summer squash for you, because I know it's your favorite. I'm going to save the best for last, some spinach for myself. These were these donated to us? Did we buy these?
Somebody gave them to Mary. I don't remember how that happened.
But maybe you're a gardener, maybe you have a vegetable garden, and you like to plant some of this. You had some flowers over there. Did you have flowers?
No, I got chives.
Oh, chives.
Yeah.
Chives have a blossom?
You've never seen chives, have you?
No, I've never seen chives.
Yeah, they have a blossom.
No, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I thought those were flowers. Anyway, this was handed out on Mother's Day, and if you didn't get some and you're like, oh, I'd like some vegetables from my garden, come by, because there's
We have a lot of them.
I was going to go through and organize them.
Yeah.
And then take like 8 of them home with me still. So
Yeah, how do you organize them? Like by...
carrots, lettuces, squashes,
Yeah, so people
radish,
can figure out what we have here.
root vegetables.
Listen, when the internet goes down and the world goes like resets, I'm glad there are people like you who know how to like do those things. I'll work the garden, but I don't know how to do any of that. So anyway, there you go. There's plenty left in the lobby, and you are more than welcome to that. Okay, let's get to the recap of this past Sunday. It was Mother's Day, and since you're the only mother in the room, how was your Mother's Day? Did you have a good Mother's Day?
It was just a normal day.
Did your children paint you any wonderful pictures?
No.
No, like smudges and smears.
Nope. They both took a nap though, so
Nice.
That's a good
so
gift.
It's a blessing,
That
and
is a good gift.
yeah, it was just a normal day. I did get to work in my garden while they napped, so I always enjoy that.
Is it true that when someone's like, "What do you want for Mother's Day?" it's hard to even know what you want for Mother's Day?
No,
or
I
you
know
someone you know
exactly what I wanted for Mother's
Okay.
Day.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah. I wanted a date night.
I was gonna say, now we're all curious about what do you
Yeah.
want. Okay.
So we're doing our date night tomorrow because it's like a combined Mother's Day. Tomorrow's also my anniversary.
Anniversary. So happy anniversary to Rachel and Alec. We're excited for you guys, and you're gonna get a date night.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good.
Alec asked me. He was like, "Tell me what you want."
And then you're like,
I was like, "This is what I want." So it worked out great.
perfect, excellent. How was your Mother's Day, Brian? Did you have a great
Mother's Day, I came here extra early, got everything turned on.
I was pulling in, and Brian was like leaving,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What is
I
happening?"
went back home. We bought Jess a new bike,
I saw. Yep.
but it was stored, like it got shipped to Dawn's while we were at the conference. I went out there one day and put it together. Then I took it to the bike shop that tunes it up and he's like, you put these parts on backwards, and all this. He had to like redo it.
Yeah.
But then I brought it here and hid it at the church because like they didn't want to give it to her early. I was just gonna take it home and say, here's your early present, but they wanted to wait till that day, the boys. So then I loaded it up after coming here and making sure we were ready for Sunday. Took it back home and gave it to her, and then like 5 minutes later turned around and come back to church.
Oh, good.
But she was happy with it. I was thankful because it's like, it's one of those gifts, like she hadn't asked for it, but her bike was like, I think I bought her first bike for her, like, shortly after we got married or something. So it's getting old now.
Yeah. Mother's Day was good. Unfortunately, Macy was sick most of the day. So that was just kind of lame. So I actually don't even know if she's opened up our gift yet. She might have. The kids might have given it to her yesterday, but I don't even know if she's opened up
So
her
you
gift
can't
yet.
even tell everyone what it is because you don't know.
Well, I know what it is. I know what it is. I was actively involved in the gift. But I don't know if Macy's even opened it yet. So we hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. And there's always pressure around days like that. And I think that's the thing that I know Macy doesn't love. She's like, I like that you guys are thoughtful, but there's always some little pressure around that day. But I hope you were able to enjoy it, and I hope that you felt appreciated if you are a mom. We were talking about Proverbs 31 on Sunday and things that God values that we all need to value. And you had Sunday school with the kids. Everything go well?
Yep. We talked about imprecatory prayers.
Imprecatory prayers for Mother's
So,
Day.
For Mother's Day, yep. Yeah, but it was really good. It was one of, I think it was one of the best ones that we've done. It's a 12-week series. We're on week 11.
Okay, so you're
of a
almost there.
12-week series. So
Okay.
yeah.
Is it all through prayer?
All through Psalms.
Psalms. Got it.
Okay.
Cool. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I felt kind of bad because I was going to play guitar for Brian, and then I busted up my fingers and I couldn't play guitar. But the music still sounded great. And Camille did a great job on the special.
Yes.
It had been a while since we've done a special. I did notice the second service, there were people still standing. Like half people sat down.
Joel told me, he's like, I stood back up and a bunch of people stood up with me because that's,
you
that's
normally
just
do
what
that.
you do.
Yeah.
I didn't notice till like we were into the song, and then I kind of looked up. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were there words on the screen?
Yeah.
There were, okay.
And there's a couple people singing along. There were a couple people who knew that song because I could hear, I always have the crowd mics turned up in my ear, and I could hear a couple people singing.
Oh, that's good.
So,
Well, we appreciated her. She did a great job on that song. And it had been a while. We've not done specials for a while. It was kind of a special. I mean, you saw the words up there. But anyway, if you missed any of that or any of the fun that we had on Sunday, you can catch it at on Facebook or tlcc.church.
Yeah, Sunday was a lot of fun.
On YouTube. Yeah, it was a fun day. It was a fun day. All right, we got TLCC top 3 of the week. The first thing is there is a welcome lunch coming up on Sunday. Welcome lunch is our kind of next step for you if you're newer to the church, or if you have people in your life that you've welcomed and they're newer to the church, and you can encourage them, say, hey, there's a lunch coming up. You get to meet some of the staff members, learn a little bit about who we are, gives us a chance to meet you and connect with you. Low pressure. You just show up and eat and enjoy some conversations with people. So that'll happen right after second service this coming Sunday. And I'll be there. My family will be there. We'll be hosting that, and we'll be excited to see people there. But if you are newer, or if you have people that you know that you've invited that are newer, a welcome lunch is a great next step for them. So that happens this Sunday. Brian, tell us about the Aspire Hymn Sing. What's that?
okay. So every month, or about every month, we have a group of people who go sing for nursing homes or assisted living around town. Mm-hmm. And this time's going to be at Aspire, which is just down the road from the church. Mm-hmm. And you show up at 2:00. They'll have the hymnals there. They just really want to bless the people who live there with, for one thing, some different faces than they see all the time. I mean, I think they love the music, but when I've only been able to go to 2 or 3 of those. Mm-hmm. I always intend to go, and then something comes up for us on Sundays. Mm-hmm. Just the way it is. But the hymn sing is such a blessing because they just like seeing us. I mean, mm-hmm. And then some of the people that you don't know if they're even awake, it's like their favorite thing we come do, mm-hmm. you know?
Yeah.
And so you don't have to really even be a great singer or anything. If you just like to go bless people and sing a few hymns, they always invite you to that. And 2:00 Sunday.
Yeah, and it's great. There's several people from our church that's at Aspire right now, and everybody really appreciates you being there. So we'd love to send a lot of people over. That happens at 2:00 this coming Sunday. And then next Monday night is the preschool program. When they finish out the year, they usually have a program that they put on. And we don't always announce it, but this year we thought it's worth highlighting because we don't always talk about the preschool program. There's lots of kids and families just in our community, not necessarily going to church here, but that appreciate the preschool. And Sandy Fincher does a great job putting on the preschool program and getting them all organized. Nancy helps too, and it's a great program. And if you want to encourage them and be a part of it, that happens next Monday night. Mm-hmm. I don't know what time.
I think it's 7.
It's 7.
Yep.
You know.
I know.
You know.
Yep.
Yep.
7 p.m.
Yep.
Well, there you go. There's the TLCC top 3 of the week. Welcome lunch is happening this Sunday. Hymn sing at Aspire on Sunday as well. And then next Monday night is the preschool program at 7 p.m.
For welcome lunch, you need to let us know if you're coming.
Yeah, we gotta
Don't
get
just show up at the lunch. Like, you can even just comment on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're at. We'll see it. All you have to tell us is how many are coming.
Yeah.
But we do want to make sure we have enough food and enough seats for people to sit. I know we already have, I think, 9 signed up plus your family.
Which means there's like 27. All right, so let's get to the spotlight of the week. And the spotlight of the week, I just have 2 questions to ask you guys. Right now, we are in a little bit of a lull because this just happens every year. Right before the summer programming starts, there's always kind of a little bit of a break. And around this time, there's so much that changes. You got the changing of the weather. You've got kids that are graduating, kids that are moving, classes and stuff. You've got some people who change out their wardrobes, like getting rid of, the winter stuff to summer stuff. There's all this change happening. And so my question is for you two, are you individuals who like change and embrace change? That's the first question. And then how do you deal with it? Because we were talking through some stuff, even as we planned for the church, like dealing with change and trying to try new things while also maintaining the things that we love and that we know. It can be a difficult balance to walk. And in the Christian life, you're constantly engaging in ancient practices that really, by and large, remain the same, but you're constantly being asked to change to become more and more like Jesus. So I just thought we could talk for a few minutes about change and about how we deal with it. And so the first question is, how do you normally react to change? Do you embrace it? Do you love it? Do you resist it? And then when that change comes, what are some things that you've learned about yourself and how you deal with it? Anybody want to take it?
Sorry, you caught me in the middle of a yawn.
So I know I'm so
After lunch.
captivating for you, Brian. So if I had to,
Yeah.
like you and I have talked about this a little bit. You like change.
Yeah.
You like a little bit more like, let's try some stuff.
There's times that it's scary, and so it's hard for me to sometimes I delay initiating the change because I don't know the unknown on the other side of it or whatever. And but like once we start down the path of changing something, I pretty much am on board with it because I usually know the purpose and all that. And it, like if it's something you're talking about, change in general.
In general, yeah.
But if it's something to do with the church, I have to be careful and just make sure that people understand why. Because sometimes we've talked about it, or in my own brain, I've understood, well, here's why we're doing this. But sometimes forget to communicate with the people that it impacts or might be just wondering. We've talked about that in a lot of different ways. But just in general in life, I think I pretty quickly embrace change. And like with me and Jess, sometimes I'll embrace a change faster,
I think that's a good point, though. If you have a strong why, most people, if they understand why this change needs to be made, they want it done now. They're ready to do it, in the moment. If they don't know why or they disagree with it, then it's like, well, this is stupid. You're dumb. Why are we doing this? This doesn't make any sense. And that happens in our life too. Is like, why do I have to change these things if I don't have a good reason to?
Because a lot of times changes are forced on us and we have no input. You could talk about, I don't want to get off on politics or something, but a lot of times people will talk about government.
Let's get into it.
And politics, things that, people change on our behalf. And our input is, well, we can vote them out next time. Sometimes it's your only recourse or whatever.
You're right, though. Sometimes change is forced on us, and that's difficult. I was thinking about when someone's keys get taken away and they can't drive anymore. How do you adapt to that? Because there's some things that are inevitable.
Yeah. But here at church, and some of you, listening to this right now, haven't agreed with every change we've made through the years. Some of you might comment on here, or we've had discussions with some of you listening to this about resistance to change. And again, sometimes that's because we have to just explain why. And here's all the meetings and thought process or or whatever, or here's the results we hope to see from this. Here's the people we hope to reach who we haven't ever been able to reach before, and this change is part of that. So a lot of times we just need to explain it more, and as leaders, we've been through so much that precedes the change, and it's almost like, okay, we have to catch everybody up to speed on that.
Yeah, you can take that for granted. Rachel, what about you? Do you feel like you embrace change? Are you someone that's like, I like the same old things? How does it?
I feel like I'm both.
You're a mixture.
I like to have an expectation. I like to know that things are going to stay the same in certain areas, and then other areas I'm like, let's change it. It doesn't work. Let's change it. And I'll initiate change. But then when change is forced upon me and I don't like it, then I have a pushback. So yeah. I recognize in myself like that tendency, and it's not always healthy or good, but I tried to pick my hills to die on, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, this is just going to change, and I'm going to have to readjust, and that's how it is. So
that's another great thought about change is when you have ownership of it, you feel great about it. I mean, a lot of you, some students that are graduating or moving or going on to the next thing, it's like you're getting to pick what comes next, and it feels great and you're excited about it. But then if change is forced upon you and you don't feel like you have any say or any ownership of it, it's like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like feeling out of control, or like I can't stop something from happening that I'm not so comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to your life, the things that might be changing now, I know some of you are changing just seasons of your life where kids are moving out, and it's like, this is going to be weird and different, and we've tried to prepare ourselves, but we don't really know what it's going to be like. Some of you are moving to different locations, and you're excited about the things that you know, and maybe nervous about the things you don't know. Some of you are just overwhelmed by all the changes that need to happen, that you need to make in your life, and you feel like, I can't do everything at once. Whatever that is, I think it's normal for all of us to both love and hate change. Change happens inevitably. It just is going to. And we can have a love-hate relationship with it, and that's fine. I don't like the way my body has changed in the last 10 years. And Lucas, I think it was Lucas, he was getting up from the couch and he was like, ugh, like he made the old man noise. And I was like, why are you making that noise? And he's like, my legs are tired. I'm like, okay, son, okay. We're entering the age, I am, where if I sleep wrong on my neck or if I move wrong a certain way, you feel it for a while. Yep. So there's some change you can't control, and then there's others that like I know I need to make. Like I really need to stop eating so much sugar. Really, I'm trying to get better, but no matter how you feel about it, change is inevitable. And so it's important to remember, what do I have ownership of, and then what's going to happen inevitably, and to try to gauge our attitudes and our perspectives to know most of the time this is healthy. Life changes all the time. So what can I hang on to that remains the same? The values that shape me and for who I am, and the things that God values that I know will remain constant throughout. And then also to know I can go with the flow, because language is going to change, words sometimes change, our circumstances change. But if we can kind of hang on to what we know we can control and trust God with what we can't, I think we're going to be okay. Let me give you the blessing of the week. Does anyone want to say anything else about change? I was just thinking about April Rothweiler when she spoke on Sunday, when she shared, and she intentionally wore bell bottoms because I made a comment the week before about how bell bottoms were a poor or unwise choice. I was thinking about fashion changes and how fashion changes. But you know what remains timeless?
A mullet.
Shirts with birds on them.
That's true. That's true.
Rachel's like,
they never get old.
I'm going to be on the podcast. At least people can see my bird shirt. So
yeah.
They never get old.
To be fair, I never know if I show up on a Tuesday if I'm going to be on the podcast.
You do. You never know.
I never know.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I hope mullets go out of style. They've come back around. They are not timeless, by the way. Never will be.
You've seen my children.
But your children look amazing.
Caleb. I think Caleb's mullet looks good. I don't know about Cassian.
Listen, I think
anyway, blessing of the week.
I think they look phenomenal. I shared this with the men's group on Saturday, and I'd like to share it with you as well. In John chapter 19, Jesus is about to be crucified, and there are just different people that are involved in this whole process. We know them. We know the characters that are here. You've got the Pharisees, the religious rulers, who are worried about their control, but also worried about their image. And they bring Jesus to Pilate and they say, we can't kill him, but you need to kill him. They raise up this group and start shouting, crucify him, crucify him. And then you have Pilate, who's trying to keep the peace. He's trying to maintain the rule of law, but he's also understanding Jesus is innocent. And in John 19 verse 10, Pilate says to Jesus, when Jesus refuses to answer, he's like, why don't you speak to me? Don't you understand? I have the authority to release you or to crucify you. And he thinks he has the authority. And Jesus says, you would not have that authority unless it was given to you. The ones who delivered me to you have the greater sin. All right, don't fall asleep yet. I'm almost there. And so you've got the Pilate realizing he doesn't really have a lot of control. If he releases Jesus, he could risk a mob. If he kills Jesus, he knows he's killing an innocent man. And he's giving in to these leaders, so they might feel even more emboldened. It's kind of a lose-lose situation for him. So you've got these different characters all worried about their own stuff, and Jesus goes to be crucified, and they gamble his clothes away. And as he's there on the cross in excruciating pain, here's what Jesus cares about. In John 19, verse 25, it says, standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, and Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, woman, behold your son. And he said to the disciple, behold your mother. And from that hour on, the disciple, this would have been John, took her into his own home. And it just strikes me, and it wasn't just for Mother's Day that I was thinking about this, but it fits. It just strikes me what Jesus was caring about even in those moments. Yes, he was accomplishing the will of God, but while everybody else was worried about their own stuff, the religious rulers, Pilate, Jesus is noticing his mom and taking care of her, even providing for her little needs. And with all the changes that might happen in your life, it's just an encouragement to know that God cares even for you, for the things that you might think are too small for him to notice. And he's in control. And even through that, Jesus had the wherewithal to care for his mom, and he cares for you as well. Final thoughts? I know I spoke a lot, I'm sorry, I apologize. But you got anything to say about that?
No, thank you. It was good.
That's good.
Okay. Well, God bless you all. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you here next week on the Ripple Effect Podcast.